In this video, I'll be comparing v0.dev by Vercel and lovable.dev. I cannot help but notice that both have .dev in their domain names. Now, I had already reviewed the v0.dev, the earliest version, but they have since then made a lot of updates to their product, and today I want to go and check it out. I'm going to be using a single prompt in both v0.dev and lovable.dev, and I want to compare and contrast the results that I get from there. I'm going to do this strictly for the UI only. So here we are on v0.dev. I'm on their what looks like a homepage, and they straight away have the option to add in your prompt, and you can go ahead and click on enter. I also noticed that they have options to see what the community has done now. So there are more projects here. I also like the fact that they have added options at the bottom to get inspired. For example, landing page, sign up form. These are kind of very commonly used examples, and it's easy to visualize these forms and landing pages. And so it's good to have these kind of examples here at the bottom. But what I have done is created my own prompt, and I'm looking at an order management tool for e-commerce website that sells candles with following features. And it's like a basic, let's say, a tabular view of list of all orders. And then I just want to have this feature of mark them as shipped as soon as an order comes in. Now I'll be using the same prompt in lovable.dev later, and then I want to compare and contrast how the experiences are like. I have tried to keep the prompt as verbose as possible without using a lot of jargons that product designers tend to use or product managers tend to use. So let's go ahead and click on this. Now, as I can see, it's working through it, and I can see the code, and this is the way to keep you engaged that something is happening. This is a very nice touch from UI design perspective, which is even if you are doing a lot of things in the background, if there is no acknowledgement to the user will feel lost. So as a product designer and a product manager, one of the key things that you have to keep in mind when designing these experiences is, are you letting the user know that there is a process happening in the background? And very crucial to design for that as well. One of the simplest ways you could do that is adding a skeletal load or adding a buffering sign or having some intermediate messaging, something that tells the user that this is happening in the background. And here we have Candle Shop Order Management. This is the first version that I get. I have not made any edits to it yet, and I can see that I have an option to download shipped orders. This is one thing that I like a lot, is they have given me different order statuses. So shipped, processing, pending, etc. And then I can go ahead and mark them as shipped. So this is what I get as a version v0.dev. Now I had already run this on lovable.dev, and let's look at it here. I added the same prompt, which you can see is the same prompt copy pasted here. And then I went ahead and told Lovable to give me this. And this was the first version that I got here. And there is some difference in the UI if you notice here. Observe how they have given this color coded, which is export shipped orders. There is some neatness to this UI. There is a hierarchy in the heading and the subheading. And you have a same action here, which is mark shipped, but with some iconography, and then you also have the color coded statuses. Compare that with v0.dev. What I see here is like a base version. I do not have a color codedness here. The button was not placed in the right place. You have a header that is not aligned with the button also. Of course, I can make this work and it will look exactly like I get in lovable.dev, but in v0.dev, I simply do not see that as the first version at all. For some reason, I always feel lovable.dev's first output is always good. Now, the reason I'm picking this specific nitty-gritty detail is because as a product manager, what I'm looking for is the fastest way to get to a prototype of an idea that I have in my head. So what would typically happen is, let's say I'm a product manager in a company and this is my task to work on order management. Imagine we are selling candles on our e-commerce site, and as soon as the order comes in, I need to see the orders, I need to see the details of the orders, and I want to be able to mark them as shipped. There could be multiple other features that I would need with this order management tool. One of the features is, let's say, for our operations team and for our logistics team, they need to see orders in an Excel file. So I need to be able to download this data in an Excel file. Now, with that in mind, what we would have done is me and product designer would have worked together. We would have come up with an iteration, or let's say first version ever, and it would be looking something like this, but not to this quality fidelity in the first go. In the first go, you are trying to get them to a wireframe stage or something closer to high fidelity, but not as polished as this one. The idea with that review meeting is to come in a meeting and show them this UI, and there are certain questions now you open up for the teams. Imagine I have a logistics team, I have a operations team, I have analytics team, I have technical team all in the same meeting. Then I would ask things like, do we need any other action other than market shift? Do we want to delete an order? Do you want to filter on this one? Do you want to sort this list of orders? Do you want to see this in any other currency? And there could be multiple other things. As soon as you show this, the stakeholder feedback starts coming in, and your prototype has to evolve with that feedback. Now, with that in mind, if I were to show a prototype, I would definitely prefer this one, because when I show this kind of prototype, it eliminates some of the obvious things that I would get as feedback. For example, if I go with this UI, the first question I'll get is, why is this button over here? Can it move all the way there? Second question I'm going to get is, can we have this shipped in green color? Can I see something else over there? Third question I would see is, I don't see a lot of details on this table. Can I add more details on this table? So I'm already blocked by some of the most important things, which is, do you want to delete an order? Do you want to have a filter on the dates? Those functional requirements I've not even gotten to, and I've already wasted 15 minutes of my time discussing some of the tiny things which I would have probably not spent my time on. This is the actual use case of having these kind of products. You can check out my previous videos on v0.dev to see a comparison. You can also check out lovable.dev, where I have gone into a little bit more detail on this particular tool. If you're watching this and you're a product manager or a product designer, I encourage you to see these products out, check them out, and use them in your work. It will definitely help. That's all for this video, and thanks for watching.